Hi everyone, welcome to another video. This time I'm going to do one on the DrumBrute, and I'm also going to do something different. I'm going to actually look at two bits of gear at the same time. In this case, we're going to also have a look at this Presonus StudioLive AR16 analog mixer. So the reason why these two are together is because I'm specifically wanting to have a look at using these individual outs on the DrumBrute here. There's 12 individual outs, I believe, on here, if you include the metronome. And also the mix output is not plugged in on this at all. So what I've got done is I've gone and set this up so that, let's have a look in here. All of the outputs on the DrumBrute are all connected here. So you can see they're all connected. And they're all connected on the StudioLive mixer here to the various inputs. Okay, so they're all connected. They're all mono connections, and we'll go through this later. Next thing I've done is I've got it connected, the actual mixer itself, I've got it connected up to Ableton Live, and this is a Windows version laptop. So in the laptop, you can see I've got the audio device set to StudioLive AR16, which is a driver you download from the Presonus website. Okay. One thing I guess that's really important to notice about this is this mixer, although it's an analog mixer and it's fully analog, also includes actually a powerful USB audio interface via USB 2, and you can choose between 44.1, 48 and 96 kilohertz sample rates, and it's a 24-bit audio interface. It supports 18 channels, 18 sends and 4 returns, and it also has a loopback feature as well. And that means that you can use this mixer either as a digital interface, which then pipes those 18 back into these analog mixer channels by 4 return channels, or you can use it as 14 inputs and you can record on your digital audio workstation DAW. It actually comes with a free one called Capture, which is a recording multi-track recorder, and it's actually pretty good. I'm not going to show you that because that's something that you can probably go and find out yourself. But what I will show you is why this mixer is really cool, and why also it actually helps me with this DrumBrute setup. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to chuck a SD card here in the mixer. It'll light up to tell us that it's happy, and as soon as we want, we can start recording on this mixer. Now, I'm going to mute. So how this mixer works basically is anything that comes out of the computer into the mixer will come in on this special channel here, or ST or 17 and 18. This special channel can take a USB connection from the computer. It can take a SD card. You can play WAV files off the SD card, or even Bluetooth audio as well. In this case, I'm going to use it for the audio from the digital audio workstation because I want to show you the power of using the individual outs on the DrumBrute. All right, so firstly, let's turn all the channels down and turn all the effects off. Okay, let's just get some sound happening. Now, before I launch anything, I'm just going to let you know that the DrumBrute is connected via USB to the laptop. The Arturia MIDI control center has been installed on this laptop, and Ableton Live can see the DrumBrute in the MIDI connections here. So you can see DrumBrute is set to sync and remote if I want. So that means if I hit play on the DAW, it will launch DrumBrute. So let's go and do that now. Okay, and you can see on the screen, hopefully everything's recording. Yep, you can see on the screen that I've already mapped these channels, and I'll go through that in a sec. But let's just, you can see there's audio coming through. So that's nice. We can see that the DrumBrute's playing here, and we can also see that our mixer has some audio coming through some of these channels here. So let's have a look if we can get one of these channels up. All right, so channel 2 is the kick drum. And let's get the snare on channel 3 happening. Toms are on 5 and 6, or 6 and 7. 6 and 7. Alright, so now let's put some effects on that snare. The effects here that are inbuilt into the mixer are pretty nice. And I've got this set onto 3, which is a large club. Alright. Put this camera down for a sec. Whilst we've got this going, let's record. And let's record in Ableton too. Just make sure that's recording. Okay, it's not recording yet because, silly me, I forgot to all the recording channels. Okay, let's start that again. And 1, 2, 3, go. Okay, now we've got some sound coming in. Okay, and you can see in Ableton there's quite a lot of sound coming in there. Now, a drum beat is not going to really need to be recorded in large quantities, but we'll just do that for now. One thing I need to mention too is the levels on the mixer here. these levels across here, they don't affect what's happening on Ableton Live. The levels from Ableton Live are straight through, so your pre-amps will affect it, and also the levels here on the DrumBrute will affect it. So let's have a little listen to a few more. And I've also got a bass line playing. So that's just listening to the mixer itself. So let's mute all that, right? And let's listen to the PC. Now that's all the channels playing in the PC there. And we can mute them as we need to. So one thing I want to do while I've got this happening, because this is probably where the power is on this, is that the DrumBrute itself doesn't probably need any sort of major cool stuff in it. This is where the cool stuff happens, when you can actually pass effects and you can mangle your input. That's when it starts to sound good. So let's have a look at a ping pong delay on the snare. That snare's a little quiet, so there we go. Now let's mute the rim sound. We don't want that at the moment. Let's mute the maracas. Now that kick needs to have a bit of grunge to it, so I'm going to put a bit of overdrive in this. Turn it off. And on. Alright, those maracas that we were hearing before, these, they kind of need a bit of a filtery sound to them, I think. So let's try the auto filter on those. And let's get this mucking around. Alright, let's do that with an LFO. That's what I love about automation. So now we've got that. But I probably want to have that maraca over on the right a bit. And probably a bit of a delay on that as well. Post filter sounds good. So let's just listen to that by itself. So you can hear that, I guess the whole thing is completely flexible. Once you bring it into Ableton, you can do all that magic in it, where you're adjusting things like turning distortion on here, and where's that maraca? We had all that track panning, and we had lots of other bits and pieces, the auto filter. So all of that is really, really cool. And once you bring it in, you know, that can be used live like I just showed you. Let's cancel that recording. All right, so let's have a look at this USB. All right, so there's the SD card. And let's go to view it in details. So let's have a listen to that. What's that launching with? Groove music. I really don't like this app, but anyway, it'll do. So you guys can hear that. Yep. So the mixer itself will record the main out. And in this case, I was playing with a whole bunch of stuff in Ableton. And it's kind of like, it's cool because it's kind of like a backup. So that's pretty neat. I like that. So from a performance point of view, we can have this StudioLive mixer with all individual inputs coming in, and we can we've got the flexibility to either use them with the mixer itself coming straight into a live performance setup. All right. And you can adjust all these sliders. Do whatever you like with this. You know, you can play something off of this. So you could put anything you like on there. In fact, let's do that. And pop that back in there. Wait for it to read. Yep. Press play. So that's pretty cool. You can actually have something happening in between your sets while you're going to get a beer or whatever like that. That's actually really cool. You can also plug in here an iPhone or an iPod or something in there via the RCAs. So yeah, I mean, from a point of view of a flexibility of this mixer, it's actually really flexible. I really like it. I think it's rock solid. The sound is really clear. From the point of view of the DrumBrute, the flexibility now with having those individual outs in a mix, of being able to record them directly in to Ableton like that, just really makes things, this makes this DrumBrute a lot more flexible